Vampire.
It is noon in Houston, the sun frozen at its zenith. A man steps out of the car and in an instant is engulfed by suffocating heat. Ahead stands a gray building, cracks running along its walls, and the sign Hampton FM Radio is barely legible. The reporter cautiously approaches the entrance to the building. The door is ajar and slowly sways in the wind, creaking softly. A hum comes from within, quiet and pulsating, resembling faint radio noise.
What should I do?
Jonathan walks around the building. Behind the radio station, he notices an old van without license plates, its body battered and worn. Jonathan opens the van door. Inside, cables, a tripod, film, a tape reel, and a toolbox are scattered about.
What should I do?
Jonathan steps closer and squints, assessing the condition of the hinges, the handle, and the lock. At first glance, everything is covered in dust, cobwebs, and a layer of grime. Fresh shoe prints are visible on the path by the door. Someone was here very recently.
What should I do?
The reporter steps inside the building. The air smells of metal and dust. On the wall to the right hangs a board with faded photographs of the station staff.
What should I do?
In one of the photos, Jonathan notices a man in a security uniform. Beneath the photo it reads, K. Ross, Shift Supervisor. Suddenly, a dull thud echoes from a nearby corridor, as if something fell. Heavy footsteps follow. Jonathan turns the camera toward the sound. A man in a dirty security uniform appears in the frame. He stands facing the wall, swaying slightly. The skin on his neck is a sickly gray. His body twitches, as if trying to remember how a living person is supposed to move. A wire runs from his belt, disappearing into the floor. The figure turns to face the reporter. The guard's face is pale, his eyes empty. He takes a step toward Jonathan.
What should I do?
Jonathan rushes to the door he just came through. He grabs the handle and yanks it. Nothing. The door hasn't just slammed shut. It feels fused to the frame. No gap, no draft. The metal is motionless and cold. The guard comes closer, his movements speeding up, his hands trembling as if he's fighting himself. Jonathan discovers a service panel on the side and a half-torn panel with the inscription, Emergency Override, Control Room Only. The reporter realizes the way out is blocked by some kind of internal security system. The door is held by an electromagnetic lock that activated when the building received power. But who turned it on? Jonathan delivers a powerful blow, sending his opponent stumbling back several steps. Without the slightest expression on his face, the guard adjusts the position of his head. The guard lunges at Jonathan as if his body decided for him. Jonathan stands there, breathing heavily. Before him lies the guard's body, motionless and twisted. Jonathan notices that the cable running from the guard's belt has now been pulled out. At the end is a small metal plug, blinking with a red light, as if transmitting a signal. The reporter turns on the camera, starting to record. A dim image of the room, dusty walls, and the motionless guard at his feet. While filming, Jonathan realizes that the guard's face looks unnatural, devoid of emotion and distinct features.
He's like a mannequin. No signs of pain, no fear, shut down like a machine. What should I do?
Jonathan searches the guard's pockets. At first, it seems like there's only junk, a fragment of some tool, and a piece of a microchip. But then his fingers find a thin, dusty plastic card. The text on the card reads, Section 4, B, Basement,
This card is a key. Why does a radio station even have operating rooms? And what were they operating on? People, like the one lying at my feet? What should I do?
A man, about 40 years old, radio station uniform, badge, Ross, K. There are traces of implants on the body. It looks like someone connected wires to him directly. The reporter lifts the guard's collar. Under the skin on the neck, thin silvery threads are visible, as if veins were soldered directly into the muscles. There is a burn mark leading from one of the ports. That must be where the plug was inserted.
What should I do?
Jonathan cautiously touches the port with his finger. A moment later, a slight tingling spreads from his hand through his entire body. A second later, he realizes he's been shocked quite badly. He jerks his hand away. The guard's body twitches slightly, like a post-mortem spasm, then finally relaxes.
What should I do?
Jonathan walked through the empty corridors of the radio station, where the silence was broken only by the creaking of structures and the occasional sounds of old equipment. The reporter enters a hall where the corridor splits into several directions. Two massive doors are visible on the opposite wall. On the left is a half-open door to the control room. On the right is a passage leading to the basement. Near the wall are several metal lockers with small doors and digital indicators above each one. At some distance stands a terminal, a standard monitor on a stand. It all resembles an automated locker system like those found in shopping malls.
Where will I go?
Jonathan leans toward the terminal and carefully studies the interface. At first glance, it looks like a perfectly ordinary computer. But when he touches the menu button, he notices something interesting.
The trading interface is ready for use.
The window on the screen expands, displaying a list of available items. Numbers next to each item indicate the price.
As if this were some kind of shop, servicing technological industrial facilities. What should I do? What should I do? Where will I go?
Jonathan holds the card up to the reader. The scanner beeps briefly. The indicator turns green. The door opens slightly. The corridor slopes downward at a slight angle. The steps are concrete and damp. Someone has been here recently. Shoe prints lead downward. At the bottom awaits a massive, rust-covered door. Beyond the door lies a hall filled with radio equipment, racks of control consoles, tape reels, and old servers. A huge screen on the wall flickers with a scrolling message. Signal active. Connection established. Cables descend from the ceiling and converge at the center of the room, where a large white chair stands. It resembles a medical chair. Fresh blood stains mark the floor. Jonathan notices a small voice recorder in the dust. When Jonathan turns on the recorder, the speaker crackles into life.
The experiment continues. Consciousness is partially stabilized. The patient hears himself.
Another voice mixes into the recording, familiar, but quiet and frightened.
Help me. Someone.
Some familiar voice. Maybe I imagined it?
Suddenly, a metallic creak is heard near the far wall. Someone or something is in the room.
What should I do?
The reporter moves silently. The sounds in the far corner remain distant, as if the creature does not notice the reporter's presence. Jonathan approaches the chair. There is blood and fingernail scratches on the armrests. A plaque on the back of the chair reads, "Synchronizer, Protocol number 12, Restricted Access."
What should I do?
Jonathan approaches the distribution panel on the wall. Inside the electrical panel, tangled wires have fused into bundles, like the vessels of a living organism. The labels are worn away. The schematics, incomprehensible. Jonathan tries to shut down the power, finds a switch, and presses it. A click. Nothing. Then, suddenly, a sharp hum fills the room, as if the reporter did not shut the power down. Deep in the room, between the consoles and racks, something is moving. At first, it looks like a stone statue. Then it becomes clear. A figure is standing almost motionless in front of a monitor. Jonathan slowly raises the camera to his face, peering through it into the darkness between the consoles. A man in a lab coat. His arms are tense and frozen in an unnatural pose, fingers curled. Jonathan cautiously moves closer. The camera captures more details. Thin cables run from the console straight to the figure's neck. Wires pass beneath the skin, and burn marks are visible around the implanted areas. Drops of black liquid, resembling oil. The camera catches the man's profile. Tall, black-haired, with deep wrinkles and dark circles under his eyes. On his badge, a faded inscription reads, "Hampton FM Technical Director, Dr. Martins." On his badge, a faded inscription reads, "Hampton FM Technical Director. Subject 1, Guard. Subject 2, Operator. Subject 3, Field Test." The third graph is still moving. Nearby, a line blinks. Active. Coordination stable. Martins does not notice the reporter, continuing to adjust something. He can be heard muttering under his breath, as if giving a lecture.
They naively believed radio waves existed only to transmit sound. But an audio signal is a structured impulse, a set of commands. One only needs to synchronize brain activity with the correct frequency, and the nervous system becomes a network node.
He pauses, checks a reading on a sensor, then turns the dial again.
Control. Complete control without implants. Only submission and obedience.
Jonathan notices that Martins is leaning over a table, fiddling with a massive mechanical rat.
Submission. Just a little more, and you will serve properly.
Jonathan accidentally kicks the metal casing of the amplifier. The sound echoes throughout the hall. The scientist turns around abruptly. Surprise gives way to irritation on his wrinkled face. He instantly grabs something from the table, a heavy surgical instrument.
Who's there? Ah, you. The field test operator. You came back. Excellent. That means the signal is stable.
Martins walks toward Jonathan, his gnarled fingers trembling, his eyes gleaming with fanaticism.
Dr. Martins, I'm a journalist. You control these people, don't you? What are you doing to them?
The scientist stops and freezes for a few seconds, as if weighing whether it is worth answering at all.
Control? No. That word is far too crude. I fine-tune. We are all noise. Biological noise. Pulse, breath, electricity. Radio waves are order, resonance. I merely select the correct frequency at which a human ceases to be chaos. At first, I tested my connection method on rats. Everything worked perfectly. Then I moved on to humans, my colleagues. They were volunteers, the guard and the technician. They wanted to cleanse their consciousness, and now they are clean. No fear, no pain, only the signal.
Martins lunges at Jonathan, his eyes filled with fanatical determination and his face twisted into a smile. Jonathan stands there breathing heavily. Before him lies the body of Dr. Martins, sprawled at the base of the chair. An error flashes on the screens. Resonance interrupted. Synchronization lost. Jonathan drops to his knees beside the body. He checks the pulse. Nothing. He carefully moves Martins's arm aside and notices a glint beneath the elbow. A large surgical instrument. The reporter forces himself to stand. He steps back, never taking his eyes off the body on the floor. Once he is sure the doctor truly is not moving, Jonathan...
Where will I go? What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Where will I go?
The door to the control room is ajar. In the middle of the room stands an old control console. Dozens of buttons, switches, and monitors. Some of them are still working. Static bands and old, blurred broadcast footage flicker on the screens. Faces, news, advertisements. They appear to be looping. An old city map hangs on the wall. Pins mark each district, labeled with radio frequencies and notes such as 19.84 megahertz, third subject unstable. 21.06 megahertz, first subject. On the table is a button labeled Override Door Locks, Manual Door Release. Beside it is a warning. Activating manual access may cause circuit overload.
It appears the building is connected to some unstable network, and any interference could lead to a short circuit.
At that moment, crackling bursts from the speaker, followed by a cold male voice.
Don't touch anything. If you shut down the power, the program will defend itself.
Where the voice came from is unclear. There is no radio or communication device nearby.
What should I do?
The reporter scans the room. The voice was clear and loud, as if the man was standing in the next room. He approaches the console and notices that one of the old headsets is connected to the switching panel. The cable runs deep into the wall, toward the server room. Jonathan picks up the headset and puts it on. A low hum drags on in the headset, as if a massive engine is running somewhere nearby. Suddenly, indistinct phrases follow one another, as if someone long ago had spoken into the broadcast on record.
Third subject unstable.
Continue signal transmission.
Brain activity decreasing, holding frequency.
The voices loop in a cycle, but with each repetition they distort slightly, as if the system is trying to imitate the speech of people long gone.
What should I do?
Jonathan quickly scans the room. On one of the walls, he notices a panel labeled Main Distribution Board, Engineers Only. The reporter pulls the panel door. It creaks, revealing a labyrinth of thick cables and old switches. Running his hand along the cold metal, Jonathan feels a faint vibration traveling through one thick cable, matching the hum in the room. He moves his fingers farther along, trying to find a junction or mounting plate, and at that moment, a sharp crack, a flash of blue light, the smell of burnt hair and scorched flesh. Jonathan is thrown backward.
What should I do?
A click. For a moment, nothing happens. Then a horrifying crackle is heard, as if an electrical wave ran beneath the walls. The lights flicker. A message flashes on the screen. Lock removed. Restarting door systems.
Finally, I can get out of here.
At that same second, a dull growl sounds somewhere behind him. Low, mechanical. The reporter slowly turns around. The door behind the reporter seems to explode with a dull metallic crash. Through the debris bursts a dog, or what was once a dog. Wires descending from above are connected to the dog's emaciated body. Drops of black liquid, resembling oil, drip from its jaws. The dog freezes, preparing to attack. Jonathan's boot slams straight into the creature's jaw. A metallic crack rings out. The predator's head twists at an unnatural angle, and it collapses, sprawled across the floor. The creature lies motionless, showing no signs of life. Jonathan cautiously rolls the dog's body over with the toe of his boot. He bends down, picks up the find, and pockets it.
Where will I go?
The outer door bursts open, and daylight hits his face like a fist. Jonathan's car is still parked where he left it. The car picks up speed, and the radio station vanishes into a dusty haze.
Amara Johnson needs to know about this. As soon as possible. Where will I go?
Houston Daily Rush Hour. Jonathan,
Hello. How can... Yes. Wait.
He immediately, the reporter entered the...
What should I do? What should I do?